Hello, Fawn Area Elementary School. My name is Beth Frabel, and I'm a writer. And I'm so excited because I will be coming to visit your school October 8th as part of Family Reading Night. And this is Jasper the dog. He's not going to be able to make the visit, but he wanted to say hello, especially since he helped inspire one of the characters in a book of mine that's releasing the day before I come and visit you. The book is called A Blind Guide to Stinkville, and it features a fat, farting dog. You wouldn't happen to know where that inspiration came from, would you, Jasper? Yeah, I know. We're also going to talk a bit about my first book, which is called, it's upside down, Pack of Dorks. Now, Pack of Dorks, Stinkville, you're probably wondering, what kind of books does this lady write? Well, I'll tell you, I write books that only I can write. And I'm going to talk to you a lot about how there are stories, drawings, poems, essays, all sorts of things in your mind that only you can write. And we're going to talk about how to do that using superpowers that only we writers have. It's going to be a lot of fun. And you're going to see how I used my experiences growing up in York County, just like you, in my writing. And you probably are also going to see some really embarrassing pictures from when I was your age. After all, I've got to be able to explain how I came up with Pack of Dorks. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to laugh a lot and learn a lot about each other. But you probably aren't going to have a lot of time to learn about my books themselves. So I thought now would be a good opportunity to introduce you to Alice. She's the main character in A Blind Guide to Stinkville. And it's also kind of special because, like I said, the book isn't released yet. It's not going to hit shelves until right around the time that I come and visit you. So I'm going to read you from the first chapter of A Blind Guide to Stinkville, and you are actually the first people to ever hear me read the first chapter. So here's a little exclusive for you. To A Blind Guide to Stinkville. Chapter 1. Even I could see that Tudor was no seeing eye dog. The ancient Shih Tzu was about the size of a loaf of bread, his bottom teeth poked out of his mouth all the time. His eyes were once brown, but now they were sort of gray. Tudor's favorite thing in the world to do was rub his butt against the ground, or a table, or someone's leg, and to fart. And that's the story behind the name, Tudor. After Mom finally agreed that my brother James could walk me to the library instead of making me spend another summer day at home. I guess technically it's home, even though it doesn't feel like it yet. He grabbed Tudor's leash from a hook by the door. "Come on, Alice. Might as well take care of two needy pains in the butt," he muttered. We had moved to Sinkville, South Carolina about 3 months ago. Sinkville is the official name, but everyone calls it Stinkville. Home, real home, is Seattle, Washington. We lived there right along the shore all 12 years of my life. There was always a wonderful blanket of soft gray in the morning, and my milk-white skin stayed perfectly pale. The air smelled salty and like rain. Mom would walk me to school during the school year, and I'd spend the summer hanging out with my best friend Eliza, who lived a block from us. Her mom let her walk over to our house by herself in the morning, but of course it was impossible for me to head out on my own. We'd always hang out at my house. Mom would bake us cookies and tell us stories, B.A., before Alice, back from when she was a travel writer. Sometimes when Dad came home from work, he'd say, "Where'd you go today, Alice?" And I'd say anything from Argentina to Zaire, wherever Mom had talked about that day. Here in Stinkville, life is pretty much the opposite. We live in a little house in the middle of the woods. Even with all the trees, the sky is a blazing blue. I have to put on sunscreen every other hour, for real. And the air in Stinkville smells like rotting eggs. That's because the whole town is centered on M.H. Bartle Paper Mill, where almost everyone, including the new plant manager, a.k.a. my dad, in town works. Do you know how paper is made? I don't either. But I do know it involves purposefully rotting wood. Rotting wood emits incredibly horrible smells. The scariest part? No one in town even smells it anymore. For real. So if we live in Stinkville long enough, we'll get used to the stink and we won't even know how horrible it is to new people. And if that wasn't stinktastic enough, Mom doesn't walk me to school, or anywhere for that matter. Mostly this is because we moved in the summer, so there is no school. But also because the longer we live here, the less she does anything, well, Momish. She took me to the library the first week we were here, but has been too tired, or feeling a little overwhelmed, or the approximate sound she makes when I nudge her awake. Since she doesn't even tell me to brush my teeth anymore, let alone explain what happened when she went diamond mining in Tanzania years ago. But what about hanging out all day with my BFF? Well, she's literally across the country. And I'm here with no friends, no life. My only excitement is going to M.H. Bartle Public Library. Yeah, even the library was named after the paper mill. When James Tudor and I got to the library doors, I stomped and refused to go in without my brother. "What's your deal?" he hissed. "I said I'd take you to the library, not hold your books for you." "I can't go by myself," I stomped again. "Why not?" I glared at him. "Are you playing the blind card?" he sighed. "I'm not playing," I snapped. "I'm actually blind, and you have to help me." "I don't have to do anything," James snapped back, but he looked around for some place to tie Tudor's leash. "Do you think it's okay to leave him out here?" I muttered. I mean, it was about 1,000 degrees out. Under my enormous sun hat, my sweaty head still felt wet, as if I had just left the shower. Tudor's little pink tongue hung out of his mouth and almost touched the sidewalk. Ugh. James jerked open the door to the library and stepped in, dragging Tudor along by the leash. The cool, fresh air hit my face as we walked inside, and I breathed as deeply as I could. My glasses turned to sunglass lenses when I'm outside, so for a minute I was even more blind than usual, while the lenses adjusted. "Excuse me," a high-pitched voice that seemed to come out of the speaker's nose rather than her mouth called out. "We do not allow animals in here. This is a library." As my lenses transitioned, I could make out a huge desk in front of us. Behind it, I saw a red blur that I think was the speaker's shirt, and a fluffy mound of yellow, which had to be her hair. "I'm sorry," James said. "It's just I'm bringing my sister in here. I had to actually bring her in because she's blind." "Oh," the librarian sucked in her breath. I went ahead and rolled my eyes, figuring the person behind the desk was A, not looking at me, and B, not able to see behind my dark lenses anyway. Where I used to live, everyone knew I was blind. It wasn't a big deal. It was accepted, the same way everyone accepted that Josh's mom was always last to pick him up from playdates, and that Eliza's hair was too curly to lie flat around her face. But here, blind is news. And this is the way it goes when people find out about me. They gasp. Then, if I'm close enough, I'll see this awful expression on their faces, like they just ate some bad cheese and but are holding it in their mouths instead of spitting it out. Then they become overly helpful, usually asking the person I'm with what they can do to help instead of asking me. They also speak super loudly, like maybe I'm also deaf. No one ever asks me questions. If they did, I'd be able to explain. So I'm going to stop there. I hope you liked that sneak peek into A Blind Guide to Stinkville. If you want to read more, well, you're in luck. There are order forms coming home with you this week where you could order a copy of A Blind Guide to Stinkville or a copy of a Pack of Dorks. And on October 8th, when I'm there for Family Reading Night, I will be so excited to sign them just for you. Now, maybe the books seem a little too old for you, like too hard for you to read on your own. Well, both A Blind Guide to Stinkville and A Pack of Dorks are wonderful books to read with your parents. There's a lot the two of you would be able to discuss after you read it, and I think they might like the books too. Pack of Dorks, by the way, is about two fourth grade loners who band together and take on frenemies and bullies at their school. It's a really funny book and a lot of fun to read. So, to summarize, I will meet you October 8th at Family Reading Night. I am so excited. I can't wait to meet you, and Jasper wishes he could come too, but we'll know he's there in spirit. I'll talk to you soon, and have a wonderful day.